Okay, so Rocks, which I say from the start, I absolutely love. So there's no tension in this whatsoever. It's a really wonderful film. It's got this ensemble cast of brilliant young screen newcomers. Film played in the London Film Festival last year. Great response. Now in cinemas. So Bookie Blackray is the 15-year-old in East London who's known as Rocks. That's her nickname. She returns home from school to discover that her mother, who's struggled with depression, has essentially abandoned her and her young brother, Emmanuel, and she's determined to avoid being taken into care. So what she does is she attempts single-handedly to fend for the pair, like giving the appearance that everything else is carrying on normally. But obviously they're going to run out of money. They end up shuffling between friends' houses and between hotels. And all the time, what she's trying to do is to pretend that everything is as it always was. But as pressures mount, she starts to become distanced from the very people who have always been closest to her, like Kosa Ali Smaya, who's his kind of closest friend. And she becomes more isolated as the situation sort of, becomes more and more difficult. The thing about the film that's really great is, on the one hand, that sounds like like a dark and disturbing subject matter, and it does have grit and it does have authenticity. But what it also has is joy and naturalism and the vibrancy of the young cast, for whom school and their friendships are absolutely a kind of a source of great joy. Here is a clip from Rocks.
Yeah, Rocks, what's P. Diddy, 50 Cent? What's that?
Oh, I want to be like P. Diddy and 50 Cent.
It's because she's good at
Yeah, I
business.
want to make a meal before I'm 30.
You've got to think about specifically what type of career. They're in the entertainment industry. Business.
No, business.
Now you're getting there. What type of business?
Makeup.
Makeup.
You said makeup.
Give them a discount though.
And look how much
innit?
followers she has as well.
Wow.
Let's keep the highlight though.
Are these all your clients?
Yeah, she gets paid to do their makeup.
I'm impressed.
So there we are. As I said, young cast, and what you get from that is that kind of sense of naturalism, that almost what you're watching to some extent is a documentary, but it's not. Obviously, it's a drama. So it's written by Teresa Rococo and Claire Wilson. Teresa Rococo came up with the original story. Directed by Sarah Gavran, who made Brick Lane and Suffragette. And the whole project is really, really collaborative. It came out of all these workshops with young people at a range of schools and youth hubs. And the result of the collaboration, that it's really been sort of, made by a team. The result of the collaboration is that it feels really authentic. It really rings true. Everything about the teenagers' lives seems completely convincing. I mean, whether it's kind of battles for survival, which are kind of tough, or whether it's, there's a scene of a food fight that erupts in a classroom that appears to be completely spontaneous, and scenes of their friendship, which are really at the center of the drama. It's shot by Hélène Louvard, who shot Never, Really, Sometimes, Always, which I know, Simon, you, like me, really, really, and that same sense of naturalism, that what you're watching, it's almost as if it's actually happening straight in front of you. So on the one hand, it has, for me, the grit of Ken Loach's Cathy Come Home, but it's also got that kind of that elegant, elegiac poetry of The Selfish Giant by Clio Barnard, and it has that kind of girl power oomph that you get from a film like Girlhood. Now, because this is a team effort, it almost seems really strange to pick out, any one person, because of all the films that I've reviewed, and for a very long time, I can't remember something which felt as collaborative as this did. But it is worth saying, Lucy Pardee, who is the casting director, Anu Enrique, who's the associate director, Amina Ayeb Al and Faye Ward, who are the producers. All these people contributed along with everybody else to the film. And quite often we hear about a film, it's a film by Sarah Gavran. This is so much a film by everybody involved in it, not least the cast, who have clearly had a huge part to play in making it as collaborative as it is. And I think that idea of collaborative filmmaking should be acknowledged, should be celebrated. And the real joy of it is that it has its feet on the ground, and it does evoke a world that feels real and gritty, and is looking difficult subject matter in the face, but it's doing it with this sense of joy and exuberance. And I would encourage anybody to see it. It's called Rocks. As I said, it was a success when it played at the festival circuit. It's now available, and I will be astonished if this wasn't in my top 5 of the year at the end of the year.
Well,
See it.
That sounds as though it may well be a movie of the week. And when you say everyone can see it, can everybody see it?
Well, it's in it's in cinemas. Obviously, as we all know, because of the way that cinemas are playing at the moment, you Google search where it's playing. But yes, I would hope that everyone got to see it. Everyone who can see it should see it.
And on my BBFC app, it says it's a 12A. So
It is entirely correct. It is a 12A.